Hello, this is Andrew Anderson. In this video, we're going to introduce using MS Project. What you see here is the MS Project software in what's referred to as the Gantt chart view. Before we begin to enter things in this view, we're going to actually look at what the outcome of our project is and those kinds of things that we need to do in order to finish our project. So one of the good things to do is actually develop your project and those things we call deliverables before you actually start to enter them into MS Project. So you can see here I've defined the outcome of our project, in this case a typed research paper. From that, then we need to figure out the kinds of things we need to deliver in order to end up with that outcome. In this case, I've defined 5 deliverables. We naturally need to select our particular topic. We need to then research multiple references. We then ultimately will need to write and prepare that report. We're going to need to submit the report and then review the results when we get done with the submission. So here we have the outcome of the project and then those things that we need to do to deliver that project. The next logical step then is to figure out the kinds of tasks that we need to get complete in order to get each one of those deliverables done. So you notice for each one of the 5 deliverables that I referred to earlier, I've defined some tasks that get done in order to get a deliverable completed. So if you look at item number 1, select the topic. We're going to have to review the assignment requirements. We're going to have to research some topics and then ultimately make that selection of a topic. We're going to have to research multiple references. You can see the 2 tasks that I have there. Prepare a report, which I again have 4 tasks associated with that, and so forth and so on. So this now becomes the framework that we can actually place into MS Project as we start to build the project in that software. You'll notice that I've used a coding scheme very similar to what you'll see when we get into MS Project in terms of outlining with captions, headings, and subheads. We're back in MS Project, and now I'm ready to take those deliverables and tasks and populate them in the column referred to as task name. I could actually take and type each one, just like I did in MS Word, or I can actually just copy those. Before I do, I'm going to actually set our MS Project work in automatic rather than manual mode. This is done by going to the bottom of the screen. You'll see the area that says New Tasks, Manually Scheduled. If you click on that, you can actually switch that to auto schedule. For this particular activity, we're going to do things auto scheduled, which will allow MS Project to help us with the scheduling of the various tasks. Okay, I'm back up at the top of the screen. Here's my tasks. So again, in this case, I'm just going to simply copy them out of MS Project and actually paste them in, so it saves me the time of having to type them twice. You'll see after I type them in that we have them all populated. The indents look very, very similar to the indents that we had in Word. You notice the duration. There's a bunch of question marks since we simply have not put any duration times in with respect to the various tasks. This column task mode refers to the automatic and manual. This symbol here represents automatic, so that means we are doing automatic scheduling. If we come over here to the right under what is the Gantt view, you'll see that all the tasks line up. Since right now, since we have not scheduled them or set the precedence of these, all the tasks end up happening at the same time. That's why they all line up the way they do. Next thing we're going to do is go over to the predecessor column and actually put predecessor so we can figure out what happens first, second, third, and so forth. If you can't see the predecessor column, one thing you can do is actually pull it out here so it actually shows. But if it actually is not even displayed, if you right click on a column, you can use the insert column and then find the predecessor. So if we go down here, you should see a function called predecessors. It already displayed, so I don't need to pick it at this point. Now we're going to only work on the tasks, not the deliverables. These 5 items here are the deliverables. We're only going to work on the tasks. Now let's try to make this look a little bit like the MS Project did by putting the coding in. In this case, it's referred to as WBS codes. There's a couple ways to do that. One of the easiest ways is to simply go to the column called task name, hit the right mouse and say insert column. And then we can move down to the column that says WBS. Click on it. There's those codes, much like we saw over in MS Project, where the deliverables are numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and then the subs are under each one is 1.1, 1.2, and so forth and so on. So let me go back now to the predecessors, and we're just going to work on the tasks. So I'm going to move over to the tasks. I'm going to indicate that the task called review assignment, research topics, and select topics. So let's assume that before we research a topic, we'd want to review the assignment first. That's task 2 up here. So we're looking at this number up here. So I'm going to enter a 2. And in this case, task 3, selecting this task right here called 1.3, select topic. We first want to research topics before we selected them. So we would like to have completed 3 before we completed 4. I've completed the rest of them, so you again see the predecessors for all the tasks determined here by the number that is in the far left-hand column. From that, you'll see the Gantt chart now begins to do the typical waterfall where this task follows this, and so forth and so on. These large black bars up here refer to the deliverables, or what we're calling now the summary tasks. So those summary tasks indicate the items that we're going to deliver, and these are the tasks that are underneath each one of those. When you actually build the predecessors, by the way, you cannot reference one of these summary tasks. Let me give you an example. If I go up here and type in, instead of 2, which is this item right here, I'm going to reference the first one, the summary task. So let me see if I can enter that. So if we go up here and I try to type a 1 instead of a 2, you'll see I get an error message up here that says projects can't link a summary task to one of the subtasks. So again, in this case, I have to simply put one of the tasks that I have already referenced. Duration, we're going to deal with a little bit later on, but you'll notice the question mark. The question mark simply means that the duration has not been referenced, so you'll want to get rid of those by actually putting some time frames in it, and I'm just going to simply randomly put some times in here. They would not necessarily take this long, but it will actually show you how, when we're all done, we should end up, again, we're doing it just with the task, we should end up having gotten rid of those items. So now I've gotten rid of all the question marks, and so my duration. So now I have each one of my major deliverables or summary tasks and the tasks underneath each one of them. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to summarize the whole project. That's called the project summary task. To do that, you go up to the Gantt chart tools. Again, we're in the Gantt chart view. You'll see the Gantt chart tools at the top of the screen, the little button here called Format. When you hit Format, you'll get the options for formatting the Gantt chart tools. I'm going to slide over to the right, and over in the right screen you're going to see a box. Notice we're displaying the summary tasks. That's a default, but if we come up here we could say Project Summary Tasks, and we click on this. Click on it, and then when I move back, you'll notice that another project line has been entered, task line. This is called task 0 line. WBS number, the work breakdown structure number, is 0. It refers to the name of the project. The 21 days summarizes all the days in this column for the entire task. So now we've summarized the entire project. The last thing I want to show you is the alternate way of doing this numbering, this WBS numbering. Let me at this point turn this one off by hiding that column. Then I'm going to move to the right. Again, select the Gantt chart tools. You'll see the function up here called outline numbering. So when I click on that numbering, get it enabled. Now when you go back to the task name, instead of having a separate column with a WBS number, the outline number is actually integrated right in with the task names. So it's another way of actually showing the WBS numbers. That's a brief introduction to MS Project.